Looking towards the next 1v1, we've got Levi from the GPL facing off against the reigning champion from Barcelona last year, Uzi.
It's pretty hype. I mean, Levi, very exciting player. He is the only jungler in the whole tournament for the 1v1. So he is going to be looking to try to pull something off. He's known for aggressive champions. He's known for being super exciting. Junglers traditionally have done very poorly in the 1v1s at All-Stars though, and Uzi is the reigning champion. He was smashing people last year. He was willing to give whatever mirror matchups he wanted to the mid laners. He was mirroring people in mid lane matchups. He was mirroring them in the AD carry matchups. He was beating them at both. And he was definitely on a tear. He's looking to try to repeat this year, which no one has done before.
Absolutely is. And earlier, Uzi did share with us what keeping the 1v1 crown would mean to him.
如果我能拿到连续第1名的话，我肯定是会非常开心的，因为这个也是大家都没有做到了。如果能第一个做到，肯定是非常自豪的。然后就是能在世界上拿到第1名，就代表是个冠军嘛，就是也会觉得自己就拿到了冠军，这样子也是很开心。
A man perhaps a few titles, but very proud of the one he has. 1v1 champion is very fitting for a player that has been known throughout his career as such a monster to have to play against.
Yeah, he certainly is. He's really been so strong in that 1v1. And like I was talking about before, I mean, it's a lot of pride on the line for these guys. They want to be known as the most dominant 1v1 player. Uzi, as you said, known for his laning prowess, known for being aggressive and really crushing opponents in that 2v2. And looking to make a name for himself even more so in the 1v1.
Certainly great to see Uzi again, just how meticulous and precise he is in these matchups. We're going to look to him to see again lots of strong AD carry play, but he did show last year as well that he can play mid lane, as did have a brief stint in mid lane as a professional player. Perhaps that's helped him along here in the 1v1s.
Definitely have to see. Yeah, I'm really excited to also find out if Levi is just going to try to play a more standard champion for the 1v1s, if he's going to play an AD or a mid laner or something like that. Or are we just going to see him bust out something like the Kha'Zix, like the Rengar, a jungle assassin type champion, and see him try to all-in Uzi?
Yeah, Levi, again, certainly a talented player in his own right, but a formidable opponent here in Uzi as the bans have begun. 3 ADCs already banned out, and Levi actually hitting the Rengar.
Okay, so he's going to take that away there from Uzi. A lot of AD carry bans so far. But remember, Uzi did play a lot of mid laners last time around as well. There is still things like the Lucian, like the Vayne coming up. We haven't seen any mirror matchups yet, but the players do still have the option to talk to each other, to agree on playing those sorts of matchups, and would definitely be exciting if they do so.
Well, last ban is Pantheon.
Okay.
The mainstay. 100% present still in the 1v1 tournament. But players deliberating a little longer clearly didn't have one pick that they were going to play no matter what if it was unbanned.
I mean, we've seen such a variety now of champions actually coming out throughout these first 4 rounds. You've got to be kind of thinking, well, even if you're going to play a Varus or a Lucian or something along those lines, something that people are expecting, or a Caitlyn, does that now change? Are you worried about the potential Nasus? Are you worried about the Lux, about the Azir, about some of the other picks that have really kind of thrown a wrench in the gears of some of these players' preparation?
Certainly have to see. Taking all of their time actually here. Again, maybe just as a thing, kind of maximizing the time they have. There's a Lucian, I believe, for Uzi, and I'm pretty sure that's Levi's Victor. I know it looks wonky currently, but according to the names,
yeah, I would trust the name
yeah.
on the champions. So I do believe it is a Lucian for Uzi, and Levi playing that Victor. That is what I'm going to go with until I'm proven otherwise.
Yep.
But
thankfully, we don't have to wait very long to see what the champions are, because we get in the game very quickly. Can see, though, Project Lucian there selected for Uzi, so he will be on a trademark pick both in 2v2 and 1v1.
We're also going to get one of 2 things, an AD carry winning a 1v1 or our defending champion being unthroned. So either one should be pretty exciting, and I do think that Victor can be pretty powerful in the 1v1s as far as the actual trading back and forth. Yes, you do not have lifesteal and these sorts of things to kind of sustain back up, but your Q especially is a very powerful trading ability because it's giving you the shield in addition to the actual bonus damage. Your E as well, very, very powerful, but we're going to have to see Uzi looking to kind of outplay some of these abilities, look to dodge out on the lasers, try to avoid these things, and it'll be interesting to see how aggressive he wants to play it.
Certainly, Victor players around the world, myself included, lamented the loss of TFT. It was a great, rest in peace, great keystone to take there for Victor. Not option there, but instead with a Airy, and Uzi, is that what I think it is? That is Kleptomancy.
That is press the attack, I
Oh,
believe.
I'm bad at reading
So
keystones.
I think it is
I wish it
going
was
to be, yeah, just press the attack.
Okay.
So that is the
Then it
3-hit
carries.
passive.
Yep.
But it's not what I would have necessarily expected for the 1v1. I was, personally expecting things to be more defensive. As we had seen, even Grasp on 80 carries in the past, things like fleet-footed, is the kind of more defensive route. This is going to be very powerful, but you have to commit to the 3 hits to actually get it off, which is not necessarily that hard for Lucian because you're passive. You have the double tap. That's 2 of the 3 hits. If you can get those trades in, Q, auto, E, auto, etc., these sorts of things, it can put out a tremendous amount of damage very, very quickly.
Yep, for Levi on his side, kind of expected stuff here. Airy Mana Flow then, Absolute Focus, Scorch on the sorcery side, then Iron Skin and Second Wind.
Yeah.
Kind of that defensive secondary tree
The
in
second
Resolve.
win, very, very powerful. I do think in these sorts of matchups, especially for those AP casters who not really have too much access to HP regen, they're not going to be building for the lifesteal and things like this. It's definitely interesting to see some of the choices, though, coming out of Uzi, actually going over heal, which is pretty interesting. Not a mastery I see a rune rather taken hardly at all. He's also going for the attack speed, Legend Alacrity. He is going Mana Flow Blend and Scorch as his secondary tree in sorcery. So definitely a very aggressive setup. There's no sort of really like magic resist type talents. There's no regen type talents really. He is certainly set up to look for a kill, right? This is not really a kind of grind him out sustain them type of build.
Certainly not yet, but a lot of flexibility here for Lucian. Doesn't dodge that laser though. Uzi taking a little bit of damage actually early on for the harass, but Levi looks out of mana.
Yeah, he does look out of mana, but it's 2 potions down already for Uzi, and Levi, he does still have the mana flow ban, so he's going to be able to recoup a lot of this, and I'd say the early stage is going very well for him. Certainly having the push, getting access to that health crystal for Uzi makes a really, really big difference, because already being down a couple potions without something like a Doran's Blade, without any sort of innate sustain is going to kind of hurt you.
Gonna take this relic here, bit of extra health. Might even run it all the way back actually to the base. See if he completes his recall. Levi gonna be able to play up.
And the pros have been struggling to actually CS under the turret because of the differences between SR and this map. It deals more damage. It's not necessarily the easy setup of 1 hit on the range minion plus an auto, 2 hits plus a melee. That sort of thing is kind of mixed up. And you can see Levi missed quite a few more of the minions, and Uzi's able to go back. He gets a Vamp Scepter. He's already in lane before the turret is actually attacked, before it is reached by Levi, so he's going to be able to continue to CS. And it puts Levi in a bit of an awkward spot. Like, he can either choose to go back when Uzi can perhaps push it in and deny some of the minions, or he has to kind of just stick around.
And this is certainly one of the kind of weakest spots for Victor in general. He is a champion that on the Rift is known for having to make a pretty significant early investment to upgrade that Hex core. That'll take even longer and be less relevant for longer, given that the game is much shorter.
Yeah, and I'm really not expecting him to go that route because it is much more of a short game, because that takes a lot of gold, and also, honestly, just because Lucian can kind of dodge out of the second half of the E very easily. So I'm really looking to see something that's more kind of power early on, things like the Seekers, things like multiple Doran's Rings, and these sorts of options, but could very easily be getting stopped here by Uzi. That does allow him to go back, but is going to try to push in, and we'll see that first buy, a couple Dorans and an Amp Tome. So going pretty aggressive here. And again, if Uzi is not in Victor's face, when something like the ultimate comes out, we've actually seen exhaust be, for the most part, relatively ineffective, because the players are actually not in range oftentimes to really get them off and have it be super effective.
Yeah, kind of feels like business as usual though for Uzi. That Vamp Step to really just move things along. He's already 10 CS ahead and counting, as Levi is really struggling under the turret here.
Yeah, he is only 9 down now, but already when you're that far behind and you're missing a lot of them that are being pushed in, you're consistently being pushed in, you're already starting to think about, all right, I've got to kill him. Like, how do I do this? And that's what's going to be going through the mind of your opponent as well, right? Uzi goes back, he picks up 3 potions, the Doran's Blade, going to give him some more HP and even more of that lifesteal. So although he is kind of in his rune setup, very, very aggressive, he is getting a lot of lifesteal from the actual item purchases, and going to be able to try to look for these trides, try to heal back up, and continually try to press any advantages.
Just uses the culling there, going to get a bit of harassment and a good chunk of the wave down again, shoving Levi back under that turret.
I mean, when he's pushing min, he keeps getting the health relics, and Levi's already out of potions once again. Yes, he still does have his heal, but he's down below half HP. Uzi definitely looking very good so far in the 1v1.
Game kind of back to where he was. We saw him in this spot last year. Already halfway there. 52 to 38 now again. Uzi still keeping 10 plus ahead in the race for farm. Turret's even going to take a bit more chip here. Uzi just playing patiently.
Yep, and I think that's really intelligent. Like, he knows he has the advantage. He's going to be able to likely force Levi back to base much faster because he has potions, because he has lifesteal, as long as he can trade relatively well. It has to be some sort of an all-in there for Levi. So Uzi going to play it out pretty safe, but Levi still will have his opportunities. The all-in at 6 is going to be very powerful. There's no flash available on Uzi, so if you use your dash poorly, if you get stuck in the Chaos Storm, that Victor ultimate, certainly potential to get taken down.
Absolutely, as Levi even happy to play back a bit more. Uzi kind of ran low on health. And of course has to actually hit things to get lifesteal back.
Levi has been quite accurate with those E's, shooting out those lasers. He's been tagging Uzi almost every single time, so certainly very good skill shot accuracy so far from him. And has to dash out. But those are the opportunities where if you use your dash defensively like that before the abilities come out and you do not back off as Uzi is doing, Levi can look for an all-in, but Uzi is playing it very intelligently.
Ooh, actually trying to go in for something. Perhaps ulti down from Levi. Uzi going to walk out of that one.
I don't even know if he hit the first tick. Like, that actually looked like it was just a straight-up whiff. Maybe caught him on the very edge, but either way, the ultimate being down and the summoner down, plus you're behind in farm is pretty brutal for Levi, and starting to look big grim.
And again, for all of Uzi's kind of signature aggression in 2v2, in 5v5, he's very patient.
He wants to win.
In the 1v1, exactly. He really wants to win again.
Yeah, and I mean, he said it. No one has won 2 before. He's looking to be the first to do it, and sometimes that means playing for the smart win, right? Levi now has to try to push it out. He has to try to base, try to get something going.
Try not to die.
Uzi's looking for the all-in.
Uzi diving in, exhaust down on both sides.
got
Levi still running away, but Uzi gonna chase him down! First blood!
Nicely played there from Uzi. Kind of flexing his muscles on Levi. The jungler curse continues, getting knocked out in the first round there, but definitely a respectable showing. He did look quite good on the Victor. Uzi, though, just a little bit too strong.
Yeah, I mean, he's the only jungler in the whole 1v1 tournament this year. I can't blame Levi too much, given that he had an unlucky draw, shall we say, having to play the defending champion.
Yeah, it's pretty rough, and it's really interesting because the early push has mattered so much in this mode, because people are struggling so hard to actually get CS under their turret. And if that's the case, then the first push is going to get you enough of an advantage that sometimes you can just take over.
Yeah, and again, for all those defensive summoners, none of them move you away anywhere as Levi realizes what's happened. Uzi scratching his head, business as usual.
Yeah, cool as a cucumber.
I mean, he's got many more rounds to play of 1v1 before he can run that title back, but a good first start winning here versus Levi. And I mean, we saw a lot of AD carry bans in that matchup, and still we had a Lucian. I mean, at some point you're going to run out of bans because Uzi can play just about anything.
Yeah, I mean, there's still Ezreal. There's still a lot of AD carries that could be, fairly viable in this 1v1, and we might be seeing some more AD carries.